If you sing and scream in your band and transitions are really easy for you, talk about it down below. What's up, everybody? Ow, that tea is hot. This is Mark with Carterbox Academy, and that song in the intro, I want to give a quick shout out to the Raven Autarchy. I did a song for their most recent EP, which is up on their YouTube channel. I'll post the link below if you want to check it out. I did the third track, but it's a really cool EP. Each track is a different guest vocalist. They have Jake Vansel from Dethrone the Sovereign, Nico, I can't remember his last name, it's hard to pronounce, but vocalist of Horcrusher. He's got some really cool fries in track 2. I highly suggest checking it out. But it was a lot of fun. That's what the music from the intro is from. Thanks for letting me post it, dude. Beyond that, you might notice I'm not as peppy as I normally am. Last week I was getting over the flu. It's not the sickness. That's a disturbed joke, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so as long as I don't move around too much, I don't feel dizzy. And I've had a bit of a cough, and by a bit I mean a lot. So I'm not going to be doing a lot of screaming today. Maybe a little light, clean singing. I've got 2 lessons today. I want to save my voice for that. I also haven't left my house since Tuesday, so I'm getting a little stir crazy. Although I've been playing a lot of Smite and Octopath Traveler. What have you folks been doing? For those of you who are stuck at home, what have you been doing to pass the time? Let us know down below. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. If you're new to the channel, we review these songs, we break them down, we talk about their vocal technique. We're not just going to listen to the song and talk about how cool it is. We're going to talk about what he does as a vocalist. And we're going to go from there. So, if you like it, like it. If you really like it, subscribe, check it out. Let's get going. Let's talk about it. I like how at the beginning, he's on the scaffolding. I don't know. It's just going to be good. Let's go back a little bit. Let's start from the very beginning. Nice. Look at that. Let's talk about a couple things. So right now what he's doing. You know, it's interesting. In the studio produced version of this song, it sounds like a lot of Fry to me. In this recording, it could be like false chordy mids. A lot of vocalists will do both, and that's one thing that's actually really important. Is you can achieve very similar sounds. Not always, but you can achieve very similar sounds with false chord and Fry. So like you could do these vocals false chord, no problem. You would just want to build it on a belt, like we've talked about, and make sure your resonance is nice and forward. See, I want to do it, but I'm not going to because my throat's a mess. But anyway, I've got other videos. I'll put them up in the cards here where I talk a little bit about that. My Spirit Box video, I talk a lot about that, how you can get similar sounds to this false chord. Also, look how he's standing. So we talk a lot about vocalists who lean, and how it can tighten and cinch your airway. I mean, your airway is kind of like a hose connected to 2 bags, right? But he's leaning forward, but you can see his back is still really straight, and his neck and head are still relatively straight and forward. So if you're going to lean, live, this is really a way to do it. Pretty good stuff. Also, somebody asked me once if cardio would help with working out. This first couple seconds shows, yeah, it does. Because he just climbed the scaffolding and nice recovery. Nice. That was really interesting. So it sounds like he's screaming along to a backing track. He's not lip syncing. Sometimes people will hear like a vocalist singing or screaming to a backing track and they think that means they're lip syncing. It doesn't. He's not. But I will say, now I'm not a sound guy, so maybe this is really common. Let me know if it is. I've known of people singing to a backing track, especially for heavier music like this, because it cuts through that live mix really well. Screaming to a backing track, that's new to me. So if you do sound for live shows, let me know. Tell me a little bit about it. Teach me stuff. But anyway, so he came in kind of pitchy at first. And that's honestly really understandable. He's using in-ears, which is definitely really helpful. That might be where that backing track is coming in. That might be getting fed to him. But he came in pretty pitchy, but his recovery was really good. Pitch matching can be difficult alone by yourself in a room with just you and a piano or you and a guitar. Doing it in a live setting like that, it's really difficult. So whenever vocalists in big, loud environments like this don't necessarily hit that first or second note, I honestly cut them some slack. That's just me personally. It's the recovery that I'm always more interested in. He did an excellent job. Let's listen to that again, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about it. Now, I've heard this song before. I don't know necessarily what the lyrics are, but did you hear how he didn't... So one thing I talk about a lot with practice is, and I have a video where I talk about this, don't do these things, 5 things or something like that, that you shouldn't do. And one of them is, if you mess up, the only time you should stop is if it hurts. But if you mess up because your tone's not right or your pitch is not right, you should try to correct it in real time. That's a great way to gain control over your voice, and that's exactly what he did. So this is kind of a case study. No, it's not really a case study, but it's kind of an example of how... Excuse me. It's kind of an example of how that can be beneficial. Also, I think the word... I don't know the lyrics, but I think the word he said was storms. Did you hear how he shifted it very dramatically to the front? Sometimes, and I've done this back when we were playing live a lot more. So in our album, The Almanac, we have some songs. We have a lot of songs where I sing. And if I didn't quite match a pitch right, I would shift the resonance forward a little bit. Storms. Ooh, that's not... Oof. I'm sorry, folks. But storms instead of storms. So it's almost like he's saying storms. Anyway, pulling that resonance forward can be a way And by this point, he's on it. He's killing it. By the time he gets here, his voice sounds beautiful. I think he's got a beautiful voice here. Poppy, crisp, bright, good power. You can see he's not struggling to get that. See, I just want to jump around my room, but I can't because I'll get dizzy. But that riff was sick. That riff was really cool. I love how crazy this show is. I know that that's not really a comment on the vocals, but he's climbing on the scaffolding. People are crowd surfing. People are jumping up and down. I love that. I've never been to a show much crazier than this. I've never even seen anybody climb anything. But I heard Dillinger's shows are pretty crazy. Well, back when they were touring, I heard those shows were pretty crazy. What are some crazy shows? Let me know. So let's talk about that real quick. This is my only thing with live videos is sometimes they don't film the vocalist when us as vocalists, we really want to hear what they're doing. So I actually was talking to somebody in the Cardivox community page, which is actually where this video was voted for. So if you want to vote for videos, oh, sorry about that, folks. Facebook seems to be open. That's all right. this video got voted on in the community page, and I was talking with a buddy of mine. His name's also Mark. And we were having this whole conversation on not only how mouth shapes can help you with pitch, not necessarily pitch, but your tone, bringing your tone lower, but also if you use your mouth shapes to bring your tone lower, it's a little bit easier to articulate. And he starts with like a low, pulls it up into a high, and then he's doing this roaring tone, drops it low, and then he shoots out some pretty spitfire vocals. And if we could see him, we could see that he's doing a lot of that with just his mouth. He's keeping his... I can't see him, but I would assume he's keeping his lips kind of pursed and forward like this. And he's doing this really fast right here because he doesn't have his larynx shoved down, which you should never do. Anyways, just listen to it. I love that riff. Love it. Hear that? He's got so much control over what he's doing. He doesn't falter on that articulation because he's using his mouth to control the pitch, and then he's just kind of barking with just a little bit of articulation to go as fast as he can. So he came in real strong. He wavered a little bit in the middle, but he came in very, very strong. And he's back. Nice. So, one thing that he's doing really well, if you're watching, because some people they put this on and they're doing chores or whatever. But if you're watching, I really want you to watch his body. He does do a little bit of chest breathing, right? Not perfect, but that's all right. But he's really not struggling for these notes. Sounds like this is probably in his comfort zone. He might be nicely within his range. He's a little bit higher for most guys who sing. But, sorry folks, but, yes, he's in his comfort zone. He's not struggling for these notes, and he's making it look easy. He's making it look really natural, and that's another thing I love, seeing a vocalist who just looks like they're in the pocket on stage. Check it out. He's just walking around like it's like it's no thing. And he's like belting high notes. Awesome. Yeah, so one thing I talk with a lot of my students, the ones who want to sing, or the ones, well, really anybody, one way that if you're singing a lot and you're in a band that's demanding a lot of high notes from you, don't think of your high notes as being high. Think of high notes and low notes. Literally visualize high notes and low notes being in front of you. It's like Harry Potter, Room of Requirement. You open the door and you see whatever you need. We've got our pantry of pitch requirement. So if you need a high note, boom, it's there. And then you grab it, and the next note in your phrase is right there. Each note you need is at arm's level, right? You're just reaching out and you're grabbing the notes that way. Granted, it's just a visualization, but sometimes when people are reaching for high notes and they're really like straining, pulling that chest voice high up versus allowing them to move through the mix to the head voice, it's because in their head they're working too hard, right? So let's keep going. But that's basically, I could go on about that for a long time. But let's keep going. Dude, we gotta... Okay, hold up a second. I can't get too worked up. So, he definitely did like an over-dramatic body posture. It's okay to do that every once in a while in a live setting, because that's what the crowd wants to see. Just save it for the big moments, right? I want to see how he came in after that screaming, because if you're doing everything right, transitioning from screaming to singing should not be hard. But if you've got everything placed incorrectly, and you know your distortion, your resonance is too low, right? If you're putting work on those vocal folds, it can be difficult. Also, if he is doing fry, which maybe it's because my ears are kind of plugged up, but to me it could go either way. I think it's fry, because in the recordings it sounds very fry. It's interesting with fry, if you're doing fry right, switching to singing is a breeze. If you're doing fry wrong, switching to singing is near impossible. Well, I won't say near impossible, but it's very, very difficult, because it takes a very strong level of finesse on the vocal cords. Fry screaming does involve the vocal cords, whereas false chord screaming does not. But anyways, let's check it out. Let's watch him and let's listen, and let's kind of together talk about how it works in your band, and transitions are really easy for you. Talk about it down below. Look at that power stance. Sorry, I talked through it because I got excited. What a dummy. So, I can't remember the song itself. This might be how it actually goes, or he might have been doing it strategically, but he sang it. I don't think he let the backing track take over it. He didn't lip sync it. But did you notice how instead of belting it out, now the whole song is softer. The whole song is kind of in a little bit of a reprise. So instead of doing that high note, well, I'm not going to do it because it's going to sound like garbage right now. But and actually this is an example. Head voice. If you've got your head voice down, high notes can be a lot easier in your head voice. In that really breathy, airy falsetto. And that's how he came in. That can be a way to recover, or to not necessarily recover, but to set yourself up for a section of singing after screaming. I've done it before live. You make your first note, if it's a high note, kind of falsetto, and then slide into the normal notes. Because none of us are going to play a bunch of shows and never make mistakes. It's not possible. We can aim for perfection and expect about 90% from ourselves. But in my mind, when vocalists do stuff like knowing how to recover and knowing how to keep the show going, I think is extremely valuable as a performing vocalist as well. And so this, to me, is great. Like, a lot of mad respect for this guy. Again, it might just be how the recorded section of the song is, but if he's doing it strategically live, mad props to you. Well, mad props either way. You're a great vocalist. But let's listen to that one more time. Yeah! I gotta calm down. I'm gonna get dizzy. But did you hear how it went from that scream to that belt? That was lovely. That was lovely. That was killer. I really enjoyed that. Like I said, I've heard the song before, but I've never watched the live version. A lot of people have been requesting more live. A lot of people have been requesting more live videos, and I was glad that I found with good quality. But that's it for Villamaya. We're going to do our community page feature right now. But if you enjoyed that, if you found it informative, or if you want to keep up to date and contribute to the conversation, feel free to jump into the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to have some input into which videos get picked, drop into the Facebook community page. It's really cool. We've got over 2,000 members. Everybody's sharing their vocals, voting on the next songs that we do. And at the end of every reaction video, I always react to one of the Facebook uploads to that page. So let's go ahead and do that now. So in the spirit of the clean singing sections, that's a tongue twister. The clean singing sections of this song, we've got a member of the community page, Cameron, and he uploaded some clean singing. And it's awesome. I've listened to it already, and it's freaking killer. Guy nails it. Even throws in some vocal fry, or some fry screams, I should say. Vocal fry and fry screams, those are two separate things. They're linked, but vocal fry is just this. Turning it into a scream is a little bit different. But let's listen to this guy's absolutely golden voice. I love it. Not sure which song he's singing, but it's fantastic. Let's check it out.
Pull me close, I feel the water reach around my neck. Don't let go, just show me that there's better days ahead. Make me see I'm only half the person I should be. Pull me close, set me free from this gravity. Pull me close, set me free from this gravity!
Alright, y'all. Good gosh. So at the beginning, I've heard people refer to this as sounding like, they're like, oh, he can sing and it sounds like auto-tune. What is that? Now, Cameron, if you're watching this, I'm not saying you're using auto-tune. I'm talking about the way that some people describe utilizing that passaggio, that space, that click between the head voice and the chest voice, to change your registers. And that's what he's doing here, and it's lovely. Interestingly enough, this is also the technique that yodelers use. That typical yodel, right? That natural break. You can use it to switch registers, and if you're not trying to sound like a dumb yodeler like me, it can be very, very lovely. So let's listen to that at the beginning one more time, and you can hear how he allows that click to happen. Beautiful. Very lovely.
Pull me close.
Also, great control of your vowels, man. This type of, like, I'm not familiar with the song, so if I miss genre it, I'm sorry. But it's got kind of like a pop punk vibe, just in the style of singing. Certain sections of metalcore might have singing like this as well, but you nail the vowel sounds that kind of give it its distinct flair. Like when you say closer, pull me closer, closer. Very forward and in the front.
Pull me close, I feel the water reach around my neck. Don't let go, just show me that there's better days ahead.
Better. You hear that? Kind of, you're not doing like a nasal resonant singing, but you're not afraid to let your nose buzz a little bit. And that really lends to sections where you sing like better. And it's got, again, that kind of poppy vibe. There you go.
Show me that there's better days ahead.
And the way you slip into that head voice for a head, good lord. Better.
Make me see I'm only half the person I should be. Pull me close, set me free from this gravity. Pull me close, set me free from this gravity.
nailed it. Also, remember how I was talking about how sometimes if you've got Fry down, switching from Fry screaming to singing is really easy, because what we're doing is we're taking the vocal folds, the true chords, these, those vocal folds, we're taking them, we're holding them together at just the right amount so the thin stream of air is coming through. And that's pretty common. That's pretty common knowledge there. But if you've got that coordination down, going from that Fry scream to the clean singing, you're kind of set up for it. But it takes a lot of coordination and a lot of practice. So great job, Cameron. I don't know if you're in a band. If you're not, you should absolutely be in one, because any album within that genre would be perfect for you. But yes, that's it for today's video, folks. Again, sorry my energy level is a little lower than normal, but I really wanted to do the video because I really like Veil of Maya. I still listen to It's Not Safe to Swim Today to this day. I love the outro. Just that quick little boop, and the song's done. If you've never heard it, check it out. A great song. But again, if you like the content, if you like the channel, like, comment, and subscribe. If you want more of it, if you want some videos where I do the vocals along with the vocalist, check out any other of my reaction videos. Sorry I couldn't do it today, but I got a lesson here in, I've got a lesson in 1 minute. So I wanted to preserve my voice for my students. But beyond that, many thanks, much love, I'm out.